Points, the digital digits that determine the outcome of every sport. Regardless of the action on the field or court, it's the final tally on a scoreboard that tells the ultimate tale. Some notably high final scores are etched in sports history. On a muggy late summer day in Philadelphia in 1922, the Cubs beat the Phillies 26-23, still standing as the highest scoring game in MLB history. Fast forward to 1984, when the Pistons and Nuggets squared off in the NBA.
Well, little do they know that 370 points in 3 overtimes later that enter the record books, having played the highest scoring game in NBA history.
And now to present-day Hidalgo, where the Rio Grande Valley Vipers averaged 131 points per game this past season, many of those coming from beyond the arc.
No secret, we want to shoot some threes.
And a man who had a bird's-eye view for all of it, Jesse Quintanilla, one of the many in the sports world that keep their finger on the button and their eyes on the board as the scores climb higher.
It's increased extremely. Usually, before, about 7 years ago when we first started on most of these sports here, give or take, or 8 years ago, things were obviously a little more, more defense-minded. And obviously in this day and age, when it comes to, offense is everything. People love excitement.
Jesse sees the sport shift as something fans yearn for and embrace.
And so it's obviously all different, but the drama's still the same, I would say. Once your home team scores, the fans go wild.
But with the current calling for offensive-minded attacks, how do all these numbers add up?
My first memory of liking math was probably in about the 7th or 8th grade. And before that, I really didn't like math. My mom says I was always good at it, but I don't remember that.
Robert Colson is a math lecturer at UTPA. When we paid a visit to him, he was tutoring a student on statistical equations. Equations that start out much like sporting events, pitting one side against another and ending with change.
Sports basically is two things. It's the physical part, but it's also the numbers. And they keep track of a lot of things.
And with numbers serving as the foundation of sport, can they be used mathematically to predict the outcomes, much like we saw during the World Cup?
A lot of times we find out that in statistics we find correlations, but we don't find causation. So a lot of times we can see that things are related, but you cannot predict the outcome.
And as was evident during that global goal battle, what was once seen as mathematically impossible happened.
And everything's based on probability, which is really nice because we have a general thinking of what's going to happen, but all the time we are still surprised.
Join us for part 2 of Keeping Score tomorrow night as we delve deeper into the world of sports scorekeeping and meet one local scorekeeper who emphasizes the importance the person behind the board has to the game.
We're just another set of game officials for the actual game officials who are out there making the calls.